Hello there, my name is Keith, and welcome to my Oscar prediction blog. Are you excited for the Oscars? Are you watching the Oscars? Do you know what the Oscars are? Ladies and gentlemen, Hollywood's big night takes place tomorrow. Chris Rock is your host, and I'm going to be the person that is going to try to help you win your Oscar pool. The good news about the nominees being so crazy this year and making us think to ourselves, what you talking about, Willis, is I think it's going to be easier to win your Oscar pool than it has been in a long time. So let's break down the 6 major categories. For Best Supporting Actress, your nominees are Jennifer Jason Leigh for The Hateful Eight, Rooney Mara for Carol, Rachel McAdams for Spotlight, Alicia Vikander for The Danish Girl, and Kate Winslet for Steve Jobs. The Kate Winslet nomination, well deserved, but it makes me scratch my head to the fact that Aaron Sorkin wasn't nominated for writing such a fantastic script. Because with all due respect to Kate Winslet and to Michael Fassbender, if Aaron Sorkin isn't writing the script, they're not getting nominated. But at the end of the day, your winner will be Alicia Vikander for The Danish Girl. Such an impressive role. In the role, of course, she had to watch her husband decide that he wanted to become a woman. Something that she handled extremely well in this role, and I think she absolutely blew us away. She could have been a double nominee for her fantastic work as well in Ex Machina, but let's not be selfish. You got one nomination, and I definitely think that she's going to be taking home the Oscar. In the Best Supporting Actor category, we've got Christian Bale in The Big Short, Tom Hardy in The Revenant. We've got Mark Ruffalo in Spotlight, Mark Rylance, Bridge of Spies, no joke, and we've got Rocky, Sylvester Stallone himself in Creed. Now, to be perfectly honest with you, is there any chance that Sylvester Stallone will not win this award? This is his to lose, and I don't think he's going to lose it at all. I think there's going to be a nice, poignant moment. I think there's going to be a beautiful standing ovation. Hopefully he remembers to thank Michael B. Jordan in this, but there's absolutely no way that Sylvester Stallone doesn't take home the Oscar, and I think his performance was the best. There was nothing about Christian Bale's performance that stood out to me, or Tom Hardy's in The Revenant. Mark Ruffalo was part of a great ensemble, and I think he got nominated because he screamed the loudest. Remember that scene in the movie? What, it could have been you! It could have been me! It could have been any of us! I'm not trying to make light of the subject matter, but there's nothing that he did that stood out more than anybody else in that movie. So at the end of the day, it's not even a process of elimination. Sylvester Stallone deserves to win this. He will win this. I don't even think he's winning it because it's a body of work thing. I just think he's winning it because it was a great performance. So yes, the guy who was in Expendables is going to win an Oscar. The guy who was in Demolition Man is going to win an Oscar, and it's going to be beautiful. Let's talk Best Actress. Your nominees are Cate Blanchett for Carol, Brie Larson for Room, Jennifer Lawrence for Joy, Charlotte Rampling for 45 Years, and I can't pronounce her name, Saoirse Ronan, I think, for Brooklyn. Okay, so right off the bat, obviously Brie Larson is going to win this award for Room, and again, justifiably so. She did a phenomenal performance as a mother who's doing everything she can do to protect her son under the worst of conditions, and she had to go through so many different emotions in this movie. Her character was so strong, such an impressive performance from an actress who, up until this point, we've only really seen in supporting actress performances. Cate Blanchett was very good in Carol, but it didn't blow me away. With all due respect, don't understand why Jennifer Lawrence is nominated here. I don't think it was a great performance, but again, I think it's just adding to her body of work and to her nominations, but I don't think there was anything that she did that stood out. And again, I think Brooklyn's probably one of the most overrated movies of the year, so that's how I feel about that. So Brie Larson, again, not process of elimination. Out of all the performances, she absolutely blew me away. So, early congratulations to her. Let's talk Best Actor, shall we? Bryan Cranston for Trumbo. Special place in my heart. Of course, Breaking Bad's my favorite drama of all time, but we're talking movies, but I just wanted to throw that in there. Bryan Cranston for Trumbo. We've got Matt Damon for The Martian, Leonardo DiCaprio for The Revenant, Michael Fassbender for Steve Jobs, and Eddie Redmayne for The Danish Girl. So let's break this down into who will win and who should win. Who will win? So this is the name you want on your pool, will be Leonardo DiCaprio. A good performance, but I don't even think his best performance. I think we've seen Leonardo DiCaprio deliver much better work in earlier performances, but I think this is going to be one of those situations where the Academy says, we kind of got it wrong before, let's get it right tonight and make sure that Leonardo gets this Oscar. I'd submit that when Denzel Washington won his Oscar for Training Day, it wasn't his best performance. He probably should have won for Malcolm X. He probably should have won for The Hurricane. They didn't get it right then. They ended up writing that wrong by giving it to him for Training Day. I think it's the same situation. I think The Revenant was a decent movie. I think his performance was good. I don't think he's deserving of this award based on another nominee, which I'll get to in a moment. But I definitely think he's going to win. And again, based on everything else that he's done in his career, it's kind of a career Oscar the way that I look at it. So early congratulations to him. For myself, hands down, this should be going to Eddie Redmayne for The Danish Girl. I know he had a fantastic performance last year, and he won the Oscar last year. And it's not even about seeing him winning it 2 years in a row. His performance in The Danish Girl was phenomenal. It was just absolutely mesmerizing. Watching this happily married man realize that he was more comfortable being a woman and go through the transition to become a woman. Speaking frankly, I think if certain things in the media didn't happen this year and certain attention, a lot of it negative, weren't put towards a certain individual, this movie might have gained a lot more traction. Unfortunately, it's one of those movies that came out, people weren't really talking about a lot, and it's unfortunate because if you've had the opportunity to see it, then you know this is probably one of the best performances that you've seen in a long time. So I'm sad that Eddie Redmayne's not getting the recognition that he deserves. Again, it's not the end of the world that Leonardo DiCaprio is getting this Oscar, and I think obviously Eddie Redmayne's going to be around for a long time. Let's talk Best Director. Lenny Abramson is nominated for Room, Alejandro G. Iñárritu for The Revenant, Tom McCarthy for Spotlight, Adam McKay for The Big Short, and George Miller for Mad Max Fury Road. So this really comes down to a couple of things. One being the Directors Guild Award, of course, went to Iñárritu for The Revenant, which would potentially put him as winning the Best Director 2 years in a row, because, of course, he won last year for Birdman. This is one of these awards that you scratch your head at, in the sense that, remember a few years ago when Ben Affleck was winning all these other awards for Argo but wasn't nominated for an Oscar? There's so many people that could have been nominated in the Best Director spot that weren't nominated this year. So looking at these nominees, in terms of who I think will win, I think it'll be Iñárritu. I don't think anybody else has an opportunity to upset him in this. I know a lot of people think that there might be a sentimental Oscar towards George Miller. I don't think that'll happen. I think Iñárritu will take it. It would be nice to see Lenny Abramson win it, but I don't think it'll happen. So at the end of the day, who do you put down? Put down Iñárritu on your ballot, and I think he's going to be taking home Best Director. All right, let's talk now about the Best Picture. This was a great year for movies with the letter B. You've got The Big Short, you've got Bridge of Spies, you've got Brooklyn. Not so much a good year for movies with the letter S, like no Sicario, no Star Wars, no Straight Outta Compton. So your nominees: Big Short, Bridge of Spies, Brooklyn, Mad Max Fury Road, The Martian, The Revenant, Room, and Spotlight. So let me go into who I think will win and who I think should win. So who I think will win. There's been so much momentum that's been building for The Revenant in the last little while, and usually you do see a correlation between Best Director and Best Picture. I think the movie that will win Best Picture actually is Spotlight. And if that's the case, another feather in the cap for the Toronto Film Festival in terms of being able to bring those Best Picture winners to the festival. I think Spotlight, going through this list and going through what's been happening so far in award season, has the best chance of winning. From a directorial standpoint, Iñárritu had to do a lot with Revenant, and Leonardo DiCaprio's performance was very good. As a movie as a whole, I don't think it's one of those movies that can stand in terms of Best Picture. Going through the others really quickly, Bridge of Spies didn't get enough. I don't think has got enough press. Big Short, again, Big Short and Brooklyn I think are extremely overrated. Mad Max, from a cinematography standpoint, is a beautiful movie, but again, Best Picture of the Year, I don't think so. I don't think The Martian has a chance. It would be nice to see Room win it, and that's the one that I think that should win. Going through all of these nominated films, I think Room was the best in terms of the script, the acting, being able to bring that phenomenal book to the big screen. I think it was a very touching and moving movie. Not to say that Spotlight wasn't, which is why I think Spotlight will end up winning it. but I think at the end of the day, it should go to Room. So, just to recap, Best Picture, I believe, will go to Spotlight. Best Director, I believe, will go to Alejandro Iñárritu. Best Actor will be Leonardo DiCaprio. Best Actress will be Brie Larson. Best Supporting Actress will be Alicia Vikander. And Best Supporting Actor, Yo Adrian, will be Rocky's Sylvester Stallone. Let me know what you think. CFL_fan on Twitter, Facebook.com/Witty Whittier, and WittyWhittier.com. I really appreciate you taking the time to check this out. My name is Keith, and I'll see you at the movies.